Good morning, everybody. XJoe81X here. It is currently mid-October 2014. I have not winterized my bike yet. It has been unseasonably warm the last couple of days, and there's really no rush to winterize it. I just wanted to update everybody who's been following me through the last year and change. My last bike video was actually March, and the last video of my bike, or a problem, was the gas cap fail. The video after that was just a couple of seconds of warming the bike up in the summer. Unfortunately, today is an unfortunate weather day. It's rainy, it's muggy, it's really disgusting for mid-October. It's 15 degrees hotter than it should be. The leaves are starting to accumulate. Haven't cleaned up the yard yet. There's old plants still around. Just when Mother Nature throws this heat wave into the eastern seaboard, it's disgusting. Even if it gets sunny today, I may not even ride because it's wet out. Ugh. Enough of that. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to update everybody and all my subscribers and everyone who wants to subscribe. I had another gas cap fail. So the last video, I think, was March 2014. We're currently in October. So March to April, April to May, June, July, August, September, October. So 7 months goes by, and the exact same thing happened. Where I go to go ride on a Saturday. I pull the bike out, start it, I let it warm up, and I gotta go get gas, and I take the cap off, and the whole thing comes off again. Now, you watched my last video and you're like, what the hell is the matter with you? What are you using? What's wrong? Well, the first epoxy was probably just worn out, or like I told you, the gas sloshes around in there. There's fumes that come off when the gas sloshes around. And I'm basically going through epoxy to find the one that I eventually has to stop. At least with this time, when the ring came up, it was just a yellow ring, like it failed as a whole, or it dried out, it got dry rotted, like, as a whole. And I picked the ring up, I threw it out, and now I had to go find new epoxy. If you look at my last video, I used some Home Depot two-part epoxy. Right now, I'll tell you what I used. And then at the winterization process, I'll let you know if it fails again, but probably not until next season. So I use this. Everybody's gonna watch my videos. Here it is. Harbor Freight. That's for something else. Part A, Part B. Old school epoxy. Old school. I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm in my 30s, and I remember epoxy being two parts. One was a hardener, one was, whatever the other part is called. I don't know. Let's see if it says it. Not really. But you get the gist. And then you had to mix it on a piece of cardboard with like a popsicle stick, and then you applied it to whatever you wanted to apply it to. So, of course, they've had millions of different technologies. I showed you before, I used the epoxy brand where you ejected it and it went through a spiral, and that worked fine. I'm not saying that did not work, but because of the application and the gas and the fumes, it probably just eats it away. This might actually also eat away, but it may not eat away until I start riding, because in the middle of October, I'm not going to get 6 months of riding. I'm lucky if I get another 2-3 weeks. So that's the update on the cap. It's epoxied now. It's not going nowhere. It's perfect. what I do also, just to remind everybody, let's see if I have it here. Where would it be? Sorry, pardon me. Okay, I do put this every 3 to 6 tanks because it is a carburetor. I do put this in. This is actually the first bottle I bought. What I'll do is eventually, when I tell you, when I make a video on winterization, even though I did it last year, doesn't matter. Things change from year to year. Basically, you know, there's a like a startup procedure that you do every year. So every 3 to 6 tanks, depending on how hard I ride, I basically put that in. I think it's 1 inch or 1 ounce, whatever. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Let's move along. If you might notice, my big air kit's gone. The short version, it didn't work because no matter what, you got to get in the carburetor. You have to rejet it. Excuse me. You just have to do stuff. Nothing is like, other than these gauges and the seats and the light, nothing bolts on anymore when it comes to performance or transmissions, even in the car. It's a 1966 Corvette. You could change the spark plugs, the distributor, you could change all that. But eventually you're going to have to start getting into something. You're going to have to take the fender off, to take the tire off, to change the lower bearings, to take the hood mounts off. It's a domino effect. So with this big air kit, if you look at my last video, I was having an air to fuel ratio problem. And I was putting, between the air box, I was putting a disc, which I threw out, and allowing certain amount of air in, certain amount of fuel in, and it would run at idle perfect, but then at like 50 miles per hour, it wouldn't run, and then I got it perfect at 50 miles per hour, but then it would idle like crap. I couldn't make a happy medium, and it cost way too much money for a dealer or anybody to take the tank off and rejet the carburetors to allow maximum fuel in, because this big air kit in my last video was all filter. And what would have happened is I would have burned more fuel because the fuel, I'm sorry, I'm brain farting here. The jets, whatever needle, the size, they would have gotten bigger. So more fuel, I would have went through more tanks. I fill up this tank maybe once a month, I think I could get about like 160 miles out of the tank for my last video. So I only have 1,631 miles at 62 miles on the bottom, which means I have about 100 miles left in the tank. So I try to go 100 miles in the next couple of weeks so I don't have to drain the fuel. And when I do drain the fuel, I'm rambling on here, but I'll put it in the snowblower or the lawnmower. I just don't throw it out. I put it in a big tub, and then I just put it in the shed. So that's it. Nothing really crazy. Big air kit was removed, was returned to the store with no problem. Gas cap failed again. We're in the middle of October. Hopefully, if everything works out, I'm going to make a nice, quick winterization video. And that's it, everybody. So hit like, hit subscribe. I enjoy your comments. I enjoy your questions. I've gotten a lot of questions on this bike in the last year that I've had it. What do you do with this? What do you do with that? Where do you get this done? How tall are you? Great bike. I like this. I like it's custom. I thank you. I appreciate all your comments. If I don't get to you right away, it's nothing personal. But keep the comments going. And some questions are really nice and really cool. Thank you everybody for liking my bike. I think really pretty lucky that it was half, customized by the time I got it, and I just tweaked it to my personalization. But thank you very much. Enjoy riding these last couple of weeks before it gets really cold. Take care.